Mike's Daily Podcast.
And the podcast just started without me going, this podcast is brought to you by toothpicks. Or without me going, hey guys, a quick little note here. You can help subscribe. No, this show starts right now. It's not a podcast that waits around and dilly-dallies. It gets going right from the beginning thing.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Beginning thing. Just use the word thing when you don't know a word because that makes you look intelligent. It's episode
Mike's Daily Podcast
1693. Hey, are you a friend of mine? I see you are someone who is an end of a twine, and it's called a rope, and we're all strung together. It's a string of life. Hey, look at this. I got one extra fan on Facebook. My Facebook page went up one.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Guess what I did this weekend? I was on the radio. I was on 92.1 KKDV.
Mike's
as a DJ
Daily
introducing music.
Podcast.
Let's see. I played that.
Yeah!
Why don't you just meet me in the middle? Every 20-something wants to dance to that song is what I found in my research. I might be wrong. Hey, I had a great weekend. What I did was mostly relax. Oh yeah, I was supposed to get to my job at noon yesterday. I woke up at 11:10. That's called sleeping in. That's called thank you God for eyes that can close and dream. Look who walked in. Hello, Michael Master. It's Mother Bruta. I hear you're going to leave this week. What the? Yes, I'm going to be leaving.
Say what?
Yes, I have to go to Florida to see my mom. It's been a long time since I saw her, and I have to be very thankful to the weather because no hurricanes came through like everybody said they would. Look who else walked in.
Hello there, Mike. This is Valentino, the parking attendant.
And this is Bison Bentley. Do you know that?
Mike, it's going to be really lonely around Café Anyway without you, Day.
Yeah, without you. Do you know that? I gotta drive off in one of the cars that are parked inside a Café Anyway. Do you know that? Huh? Wait, there was a car inside a Café Anyway, and he just drove into the wall, through the wall, and now he's gone.
Wow!
And here's today's podcast picture.
That all just happened just now, because this is Mike's Daily Podcast, and things happen on this program, like me trying to find a photo. What did we do last? Oh, the last picture was of me and Basil the Boxer over there at Jack London. There's Basil now, at Jack London Square, and there were sailboats behind me. I hope you got to see that wonderful picture, and it was cute. It was fun. Let's see. And I got a compliment on one of the other pictures I had, which was Basil running along the waterfront there at Bay Farm Island in Alameda. If you are in the Bay Area, you need to go. Why have you not been to Bay Farm Island is my question. Get over there, check it out. I will tell you, though, of other interesting coastal places in the Bay Area, and the San Leandro Marina ain't looking too good. It is not looking too good. I'm going to actually post a picture, though. It's what do you call it? Scenic, this picture. The sky was a little bit dark. We've been having a lot of overcast skies. We've had smoky skies. That meteor shower that happened recently, you couldn't see it at all. Because of all that, I get up at 4 in the morning and I look up in the sky and I saw nothing because it was just all clouds and particulates. So this picture that you'll find at mikesdailypodcast.com, the podcast picture is of the marina, the San Leandro Marina. So much potential for this marina, but unfortunately it is falling by the wayside. And I don't know if you'll be able to see it that clearly, but there is a dock in this picture that is sinking into the water. It is falling apart. It's like tilted. I don't know what happened. It looks like a boat crashed into it or something. That's happening in the San Leandro Marina. There's all kinds of other nefarious activities going on in the San Leandro Marina. In the parking lots, it's got parking lots that go. Imagine the bay. It's a marina adjacent to the bay, and then so the opening is small, but it comes into like imagine it comes into like a little round area, a bay. It goes into a bay, right? And there's parking, the landmass that creates this bay, there's parking all along it. Well, there's all kinds of nefarious activity going on in that parking lot. You'll see a random car parked there, and as you drive by and look in through the window, you're like, ooh, I don't know. Okay, yeah, that's allowed to happen. Love happens, and love is okay in some of the cars. And then in other ones, in cars, there's not love. There's some damn what you would call hate towards one's body. We're talking like meth action and whatnot going on in people's cars. There's all kinds of stuff. The occasional ganja, okay, fine, but still, holy moly, there's some stuff going on in those cars along the waterfront there in the parking lot of San Leandro Marina in lovely San Leandro. And there's been all these plans drawn up about what they are going to do to make that San Leandro Marina much better. But at any rate, I'm going to a part of the country, and I think tomorrow I will post a Florida picture. And I'm going to be in this part of the country where there is lots of marinas, lots of docks, lots of boats. But this, and they have their own share of. Well, last time I was in Florida, which was in September of last year, it was right after Hurricane Irene, and there was, or was it Irma? I always forget. And there was a lot of docks that got knocked over and blown out of the water or sunk. And I saw a lot of dysfunctional docks in Daytona Beach when I went last year. This year, I don't think I will see that. Their weather hasn't been as crazy. But still, lots of rain, lots of clouds. Hey, so, yeah, we lost Aretha Franklin, and someone told me, hey, Mike, hey, what can I say? I got a woman and she treats me good, yeah. No, I was going to say the song, I Knew You Were Waiting for Me. George Michael, Aretha Franklin did that song. Nobody in their little tributes to Aretha brought that up, except for me. That was a huge hit when I was in the 80s. I think I was going to college at the time. Big song. No one brings it up. But here's the sad thing. They're both in heaven now. They're both in musical heaven, playing harps and probably singing that song. I knew you were waiting for... Now, Aretha did a lot of duets. What about the Eurythmics? Sisters are doing it for themselves. They did that. She did a song with Elton John called Through the Storm, but if you try and look it up on YouTube, it's kind of hard to find. Through the Storm. It was an interesting collaboration. Very 80s-y. Which, by the way, if you are intrigued by the 80s synthesizer sound, there is a great series going on YouTube where this young guy, probably in his 30s, he has all these vintage synthesizers from the 80s, and he's able to recreate all kinds of interesting songs like the I Can't Go For That sound. He found the synthesizer sound for this one. Tears for Fears. And he talks all about how he...
What's up, y'all? William Kirk here.
It's William Kirk. Oh, he's fun to watch. And he's all into synthesizers. So that's a fun little video series I found. I watched a lot of it. So one thing I love about my weekends, particularly Sunday, because I usually get everything done at my part-time job, is I will sit... I still got some extra time. Oh, here's a video on why modern music is awful. Oh, should we... I wonder what they say on this.
Hey, 42 here. On the 6th of December, 1966, 4 guys from Liverpool...
oh, no thanks.
Reverb for another episode.
All right. I'm not going to watch that or that. But I did watch a lot of Doctor Who stuff from the 80s. Doctor Who, which is now about to start, I think, the new season with the female Doctor. Jodie Whittaker taking over the role of the Doctor. It got started in 63 right? Or 64, 63. And then it lasted till 89, and it was canceled. Then they tried to do a made-for-TV movie that takes place in San Francisco, and that didn't take off. They were going to do a whole new series on Fox, believe it or not. It was going to be on Fox TV and also on the BBC in England. That didn't take off because the ratings were awful in America. And then they rebooted it on the BBC in 2005, and you had David Tennant as the Doctor. You've had Matt Smith, Peter Capaldi, now Jodie Whittaker. Oh, yeah, and of course Christopher Eccleston, who's done a bunch of stuff. But what's interesting, and John Hurt was a doctor of sorts. He was the war doctor. Now I'm getting all nerdy on you, I know, because you don't know Doctor Who. But let me just say that the 80s doctors were very interesting, the ones they had back in the 1980s, because it almost got canceled in 86, I think it was. And I didn't know about that. I completely glossed over that piece of history. And there was a doctor named Colin Baker. And they brought it back. When they brought it back, they poked fun at what was going on in the media about how the Doctor Who show was almost canceled by putting the Doctor on trial. And so there was a whole series of the Doctor on trial that was very interesting to watch for me. And that's probably all it was interesting for. And then also, there was someone on C-SPAN yesterday I wanted to bring up named, like, Bitcoin Girl or something like that. She's Australian. She's got red hair, and she always wears these polka dot dresses and skirts. And she's always talking about how I'm not doing an Australian accent correctly, but that there's what you call the Bitcoin, and how it's really great because it's taking the power out of governments and put it in the hands of the people, except for the fact that the Bitcoin is run by a lot of terrorists and people that hack into your computer system and say, hey, you can't get any of your data back unless you pay us in Bitcoin. So Bitcoin's already got this bad image to it, and people don't understand it. And she tried to explain it, and I kind of understood from what she was saying, but I think it's got a long way to go. Who knows? I would not invest in Bitcoin at the moment. And I know I'm echoing what a lot of economists are saying, but gosh. So that's what I saw this weekend. But we still have a lot of particulates in the sky because of the fires. My mom, as we go outside of Café Anyway, where we're bringing Mike's Daily Podcast somewhere in Podcaster Valley. My mom, who I'm going to see in a couple days, she is very Republican, and she gets mad when she hears Jerry Brown is suing Trump because Trump is a climate change denier, and Jerry Brown is, oh yeah, climate change is happening. Look at California. Our fires are happening more and more and with more frequency. And Trump, you should be in jail.
Because you'd be in jail?
No, you should be in jail. And so, yeah, he sues Trump because of these issues, and my mom complains about that. That's stupid. They always like to say moon rock or moon unit or moonlight, moon sun guppy, whatever they call him. That, oh, Jerry Brown, he's trying to sue Trump. Let him sue Trump. You know, here's how I look at it. You're not impeding the president. You're not impeding America if you slap the hand of the president from now and then from time to time. And he needs his hand slapped. He's getting his hand slapped now by the guy that he took the security code away from. That used to be in the CIA. He said, no, I don't want him in there. I don't want him to give him the security codes. He's not allowed to have the security codes anymore because he talked bad about me, Trump said. And no, he's getting sued now for that. His hand is being slapped. Is he being impeded from doing his job? No. He has to have his hand slapped from time to time because otherwise he's going to go fascist. Some people say he already has. Well, I say slap his hand. Or bonk the president in the head a little bit. With, nothing. Maybe like a fish. Bonk him in the head with a fish. That's all I'm saying. Bonk him in the head with a fish. Or with a rubber chicken. Oh, rubber biscuit. That's all I'm saying. I know that sounds nefarious, but whatever. I don't really give a crap. Hey, I fell asleep looking at my lovely lady friends. She was posting to me She was showing me posts or Pinterests, is what I'm saying. She's very interested in the Pinterest. Interest in Pinterest. And she was showing me Pinterest pics. She collects a lot of Pinterest pics about recipes, which we tried one on Saturday, which was really good, with, I guess we call Oriental noodles. I meant to say Asian noodles. Ooh, God. And it was very delicious. I threw a little bit of turkey meat in there. Very good. Wait, did I say turkey? Excellent. Yeah, so we did that, put that together. It worked wonderful. And she also has Pinterest pictures from, what do you call it? Oregon. Beautiful places to hike in Oregon. So we may go to Oregon. We need to travel all over the world, she and I. Because she's so lovely. And she, by the way, told me that she likes the fact that I'm not reading news stories anymore. And I vow to you, as Mike's daily podcast host, Mike Matthews, here at Podcastro Valley, the last place on earth at Café Anyway, and all that stuff, that I, at Café Anyway, will never, ever, ever start off the podcast with a stupid sponsor like so many podcasts do. I will not start off the podcast with a long introduction. And now, the guy who brought you the soda. And now they have these long... Some of these podcasts have the most obnoxious long intros. And mine's quick, right? We sing the Café Anyway song.
Anyway.
And we start the show. And my uncle says hello real quick. And my cousin Anne-Katrine says Mike's Daily Podcast. And we're off. What did I write here as I read something? I just now did. Conservatives is organic or all... Oh, yeah, there's all these companies now. I wrote a note to myself about this. There's all these conservative companies, like there's that RonaldReagan.com. You shouldn't trust Google with your Gmail or Yahoo. They give away all your secrets, and they get hacked constantly. You should use RonaldReagan.com. Ronald Reagan once said, I never met a fish I don't like. Wait, did he say that? He said... Actually, he did have a really interesting quote that I heard the other day. He said, your friends who support you are the ones who create you. Kind of like behind every great man, there's a great woman, that kind of philosophy, that there's people help boost each other. That's true, though. I think in some ways that your friends that are supportive of you, they do create you. They do keep you going and motivate you to do other things. Just pointing that out. But there's all these ridiculous, stupid, conservative companies that wrap themselves in the flag, that wrap themselves in the, more like they wrap themselves in the Trump. And they go, there's this one that's going up against the AARP that says, hey, the AARP gave a bunch of money to Obamacare and supported Obama. So you should be against the AARP. Use this new conservative one. So stupid. But that's their spin. And I know a lot of idiots are buying into it. Finally, speaking of conservative idiots, because this show does have a liberal label on it, thusly I like to say mean things about conservatives. And if you are a conservative, but hey, here's the funny thing. Check this out if you're a conservative. Conservative media, i.e. conservative talk show hosts on the radio, and one that actually I may or may not work for a radio station that carries this particular conservative radio talk show host. He said when Aretha Franklin died, he said Tina Turner died. How awful is that? And then Fox News, I am told, they messed up and said Patti LaBelle died. They said Aretha Franklin died, but they showed a picture of Patti LaBelle. Huh? What? That's why you need me, everybody. You need me to be on this radio podcast thingy to tell you these things. And to tell you that next show, it's going to be the wonderful Shelley Shuhart, Floyd the Floorman, and John Deere the engineer. It was sad about Aretha Franklin, but it was also sad earlier in the week. You remember they were saying she doesn't have much time left? And that's basically in the celebrity world when buzzards, is it the buzzards or the vultures are flying overhead that you know something bad's about to happen to someone? When you hear the news say, so-and-so is gravely ill. But the interesting thing about Aretha was, like, she had pancreatic cancer. She was reported to have that back in 2011. And the reality, and I've known a lot of people who, you know, as soon as they had pancreatic cancer, i.e. Patrick Swayze, as soon as it was announced he had it, he wasn't long for this world. He passed away shortly after. I had an aunt, same thing. It's a horrible, horrible disease. So if she actually had pancreatic cancer and survived for 8 years, that's a question I would find interesting. I would be interested to find answered. Didn't mean to go that dark at the end of the show, but I did want to say Shelley Shuhart, Floyd the Floorman, John Deere the Engineer coming up very soon on an upcoming episode, possibly the next one. Let's say that. Hopefully we have one more show before I go to Florida. And one more last thought: don't wear so much perfume that you cause people around you to lose their eyesight. Just leaving you with that. Or when you wear so much perfume that when you walk past me in the hall, I can actually taste the perfume. I can taste it in my mouth. That's wrong. Let's put the perfume away, back away from the perfume bottle, and we'll all be okay. Enjoy your day. That was episode 1600 and something 1693. Have a good day.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at mikesdailypodcast.com. Email Mike now at mikesdailypodcast@gmail.com. See you tomorrow. Bye.